Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Jonesin 4 Show, your show that will help you live your life to the max. And I cannot thank you enough for being here. So take this moment to pat yourself on the back. That's right. Take a hand, pat yourself on the back because you are awesome. You are amazing. And I truly appreciate you being here, letting me join you and help you along on your journey. So thank you for being part of the Jonesin 4 tribe, our community, our family. Thank you so much. So in today's episode, it's going to be a little different. We're going to mix it up. This is a different episode for us. This is something that we haven't touched on really. And this is going to be a gentle shift for where the show is going, right? The show is all about helping you live your life to the max. And for the most part, we've been talking about mindset, right? But now we're going to be addressing in this new year, and even as you probably noticed within the last year when we talked to Stephen Sashin of Zero Shoes, more about the physical side of your body. So we're going to be incorporating multiple ways to help you live your life to the max, right? Get the most out of life, both mentally with your mindset, and physically, right, with your body. So today's episode, we are going to talk about when to go organic. Because let's face it, right? I don't know if you've noticed, I know I have, the organic train, as it were, has been going full steam. And it's been going for years now, and it's picking up more and more steam, more acceleration as it goes. So what do I mean by that? By the organic train? Well, what I mean is that organic foods have become more and more popular, right? They've started to become a little less expensive than they were, but they're still more expensive than the conventional grown foods, right? But what benefits are there to them? When should we buy them? When is it worth the money? When is it not worth the money? Essentially, I want to help you save money by deciding when to go organic and when not, but also so you have the knowledge base behind it to know, does it make sense to do it? Well, what does it mean to be organic? What are the requirements? All that stuff. Because let's face it, if you want to get the most out of life, you need to keep your body happy and healthy, right? That's why we do the breath work. That's why we do working out. That's why we do working out. That sounds really weird. That's why we work out. And that's why we just do everything we can to make sure our mind's right, our body's right, so we can do our best and live our lives to the max. Well, eating foods and fueling yourself with the proper foods is key. It's crucial to it, right? When I lead my clients through our lifestyle challenge, a 3-month challenge, fitness and food is part of it. Your nutrition is part of it. Eating whole foods, right? Getting away from the processed crap that's just gumming up and as junk to your system. No, we get rid of that, right? We want to avoid those and go to less processed foods. I'm not saying you can't enjoy those things occasionally, totally, right? Think of it like a 90-10 rule, right? So 90% of your diet's healthy, non-processed, healthy foods. The other 10%, you can have a little fun with, right? I'll tell you for me, I still eat pizza, love pizza. I usually make a homemade pizza now, so it's healthier, definitely, and it tastes so much better. Ice cream, love those things, right? But I eat healthy the majority of the time. Okay, but we could go off in so many different tangents, but let's stay focused here. Focus, Spencer, focus. Let's talk about organic. So, as I said, this organic train has been going, and it's been going now for a number of years, 10, 20 more plus years that this organic train has been going. And the government obviously has taken notice, and they have made a specific labeling for it, where it's certified organic foods. Now, you'll generally see this on foods that's produce, right? Vegetables, fruit, things like that, meat, right? Those can be certified organic. There's other that could be processed-ish foods like cereals, things like that, where they can be organic. You'll see that those labelings as well. But if you're looking at the main things, it's usually fruits, vegetables, meats, dairy, things along those lines where the main focus is for organic. So before I share what foods to get organic, what's not, and we'll share that here. And that'll be right towards the end of this episode of what foods you should to get organic, to spend the extra money on, and ones it's okay if you don't. But let's dive into what it means to be organic, right? What are the requirements needed to be certified by the USDA? So the USDA is the U.S. Department of Agriculture, certifies foods to be organic. And they have really strict guidelines to what can be certified and what cannot be. Now, you can find all this info and guides and sheets and all that at two different websites. You can go to www.usda.gov, or you can also go to ams.usda.gov. And they'll show you, I'll talk about some guides and all that they share, a list, and you can find those lists on their websites. Just go to usda.gov and you can find almost all that information there. Okay, so as I was saying, the USDA has strict guidelines about what it is to, or what it takes to have organic food, to be certified organic. And the first one is the product or the produce, whatever it is, the item needs to be produced without excluded methods. So on the website, they have a list of methods that are okay and not okay, that are included and excluded. So if it wants to be certified organic, they need to be produced with the methods that are included, right? Not the ones that are excluded. The ones that are no good are things like genetic engineering, right? Organic foods will not be genetically engineered. Okay, so just keeping that in mind, right? So they have to use the proper methods. They also need to be produced with the allowed substances on the national list. So, okay, I know this all sounds very broad and all that, but, like it doesn't have pesticides and things like that. So if you go to usda.gov, you can see what methods are they talking about, what methods are included or excluded, what's on the list as okay and not okay, what's allowed and what's not allowed, right? So you can check those lists out. And then to be certified organic, the USDA, all products are overseen by the USDA National Organic Program and one of their agents. So it's overseen and then certified by one of their agents. Okay, so that's fancy, right? We know this, but it's still a little broad, right? If I just heard that, like, oh, we got these three things, sure, it has to be grown or produced with excluding these methods and doesn't have these substances in it. Well, that's cool, but I have no idea what that means. Like, okay, I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know specifics. I want to know specifics. I want to know what goes into it, what really is happening. And sure, I could look at those lists, but you're here listening to this show and letting me help you and guide you. So let me help you and guide you. Those are the big things that you'll see, like the big categories, but let's break it down into a little bit more manageable, more understandable chunks with more specifics for you. Okay, so here's the big thing. Products that are grown, right? Again, usually fruits, vegetables, things like that. They must be grown in soil or on soil that has had no prohibited substances like synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, things on that national list, right? Pesticides, fertilizers, nothing like that, right? That have been applied to that soil for 3 years before the harvest. So let me say that again. To be certified organic, the product, the produce, whatever it is, needs to be grown on soil that has not had any pesticides or fertilizers like synthetic fertilizers or things like that for the past 3 years. That soil needs to be clear of that junk, right? The forbidden substances, as it were. Okay, and then also for if you're looking at meats, organic meats, and I believe this goes for dairy as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm fairly certain it goes for the dairy aspect as well, is that the animals must be raised in living conditions accommodating their natural behaviors. So what does that mean? Like if they graze naturally, well, then they graze, right? So it's accommodating their natural habits, their natural environments and behaviors. Plus, they need to be fed 100% organic feed and forage. So what they're eating has to be 100% organic as well. So what that means to me, and I'm not 100% sure, I could be wrong, but what I think is, okay, let's say you're drinking milk from a cow, right? So if you're drinking cow's milk, that cow is roaming free on its pasture, and that pasture, that grass needs to be free from synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, things along those lines, things on the naughty list, as it were, on the national list, right? Because what the cow's eating, that grass, has to be natural. Same thing with the hay or whatever else, oats, whatever else they eat. It needs to be 100% organic. Plus, the animal that you're eating, right, that meat, or I would assume that dairy that comes from that animal cannot have hormones or antibiotics administered to them at all. So clean and clear animals, natural, all that good stuff. So that's about the produce, vegetables, right, grown on soil that hasn't had anything on it for 3 years. That meat, that it's eating 100% organic food, that it's in its natural behavior and environments and all that. Okay, so that's not, now you know a little bit more information, and you could say like, oh, this is what it takes to be growing organically, right? As opposed to conventional foods where it can be sprayed with pesticides and where it can be genetically engineered or have synthetic fertilizers and all that stuff happening to it. All right, so let's talk about labels. Now, labels are different for organic foods and conventionally grown foods. Now, what do I mean by labels? I mean, like, if I look at vegetables or produce specifically, right, they have a code. They have a number sign or hashtag, if you don't think about it that way, and then a number code. Conventionally grown foods have a 4-digit code. 4-digit. And what I mean by conventional means that it's grown with pesticides, fertilizer, stuff that is now sadly commonplace. Okay, and those are 4-digit codes. If it's organically grown, if it's organic, it's going to have a 5-digit code, and that starts with a 9. So let's say the number is 4033. And I'm saying this number because I just read it earlier as I was doing research for this, making sure that everything was set. I want to say that was a lemon. I think 4033 is a code for a lemon. So organic would be 94033. All right, so it has a 9 at the beginning of it, meaning that it's organic. Then there's labels that companies use to help us out that are regulated by the USDA. Things like 100% organic. You see that label, 100% organic. Well, what does that mean? Does that really mean that 100% of the ingredients are organic? Well, actually it doesn't. Right? A company or a product can claim that they're 100% organic, but what that means is that all ingredients, I'm sorry, I take it back. For 100% organic, yes. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. So pick up your jaw off the floor because I was wrong. I'm sorry. 100% organic means that all ingredients must be organic, except for salt and water because they're considered natural. So if it says 100% organic, that means every single thing in that, every single thing in it has to be organic. Okay. Now, this is the part that I was surprised about when I learned it. And that is things that are marked as organic. Not 100% organic, just organic. Well, you would think that means the whole thing needs to be organic. But that's not necessarily the case. This is where I got mixed up before. But now we're on point. What that means when a product is labeled organic is that at least 95% of the ingredients are organic. So 95%, not 100%. So they can claim that it's organic if 95% of the ingredients of whatever it is in it is organic. That means up to 5% maybe non-organic, non-agricultural products, right, that are on that national list. 5%. So think about this. If it just says organic, it's 95% organic, but there's up to 5%. That might not be. And then the other label you'll see out there is made with organic whatever, right? Made with organic stuff. And what that means is up to 70% of whatever in it is organic, right? So 70% of the ingredients are organic. If it says made with organic, that means 70%, 70%, at least 70% is made up of organic ingredients. So what's the importance of eating and fueling yourself, your body, with organic foods? Well, think about it. If we eat conventional foods, and I'll be honest, I still do at times. I still do most of the time, to be honest. I'm working in more and more organic foods. And but what we're doing as we grow up eating those conventional foods is, well, what are they grown with? Well, they're grown with things that are genetically engineered. They're grown with fertilizers, synthetic fertilizers, so stuff that's not even real or natural, pesticides, things that kill animals, kill insects and beings, which I'm not a fan of insects either. But if it's killing that, it has to be killing part of me, killing some of the good bacteria in me, my cells, whatever, right? If it's killing something, it has to be killing part of me in some way. So how much of this food do you want to be eating that's hurting you? That's not allowing your body to run at its top point, right? At its top condition, at its peak performance. You're stopping it by eating this organic foods, right? By eating conventional foods. And that's why I'm shifting over to eating more organic foods, because I don't want to be harming my body and stopping myself from being at my peak performance, right? That's not allowing me to live my life to the max. To live my life to the max, I need to be at my peak performance, and eating organic helps me do that. Hey everyone, Spencer Jones, and I'm sorry to butt in like this, but I'll keep this really short and sweet. I want to help you live your life to the max. I want to help you chase your passions to get the most out of life. And I wrote a book to help you do that. It's my latest book. It's called Chase Your Passions. It's available on Amazon, and I know it can help you change your life and help you live your life to the max. It's basically in the book, I walk you through how to create the ultimate roadmap to success. Whatever that success looks like for you, it walks you through it. Everybody has a different roadmap because everybody's dream, everybody's goal is different. So everybody's roadmap is going to be different. But this book helps you, guides you in creating your personal roadmap to success. So folks, don't delay. Get on Amazon and just look up Chase Your Passions. I put Spencer Jones in there too, just to be safe, so it pulls up right away. Or go to my website, spencermjones.com, and get your copy of it today. And heck, get the Priorities of Practice journal with it, because that companion journal, that makes it that much sweeter. All right, folks, thanks for listening. I told you I'd keep it short and sweet. Catch you soon. So as you're looking into this and as you're thinking, okay, cool, Spencer, thanks for sharing this. But you know what? Organic foods are crazy expensive. Right? Sometimes they're double or triple the cost of the conventionally grown foods, which, by the way, is just freaking crazy, right? We need to change this. Something needs to change to make that better. But whatever. It's a situation we're living in now, so let's embrace it. That's all good. So I looked at this, and I found, foods are expensive, yes. But there are foods that hold in, that absorb more of those pesticides, more of that unnatural stuff that doesn't do our body good, that junk for our body. There's foods that hold them in more than other foods. So that's why I want to share with you, to help you out, to help your pocketbook out, because we can eat organic, and if you can eat all organic, oh, awesome, do it. If you can do that and you can make that happen, please do it. Your body is going to thank you. But if you're like me, when eating all organic food just isn't financially possible, at least not yet, that's okay. But here are some foods you should in my opinion, and what I buy that are organic, I spend that extra money on because they have a higher level of pesticides in them. Let me say it this way. Maybe you have kids. And if you have kids, do you really want to be feeding them pesticides? Do you want to really be feeding them poison? Do you really want to feed yourself poison? I don't think so. I don't. I don't want to be feeding Katie poison when I make dinners. I don't want to be feeding myself poison. I don't want to feed my animals poison. If I had kids, there's sure as heck no way would I want to be giving them any poison. But that's just me. And you do you, and that's cool. But again, the finances, how things are in the world, whatever, they make it hard because it's expensive. So here are some top foods, especially produce, fruits, and vegetables, that are high in pesticides. So these foods, buy organic. If you can, buy these foods organic, at least to start you off, right? And fueling your body with the better foods. Now, before I jump in here, I will say that the USDA is picky. What's the right word for this? The USDA says, they note that the organic seal does not mean that food is healthier or safer than conventionally grown. Right, they're the equivalent to the conventional grown foods. Okay, I get it. It's a legal thing. They need to cover their butt that the organic foods aren't technically healthier or safer for them. But let's be honest. If that food's absorbing poison, been genetically altered so that the nutrients in it are not the same, are not as whole, is not as natural, right? I mean, heck, look at this apple. This apple's bigger because it's been genetically modified to be bigger and taste better. But that's not natural, right? It's not the way it's meant to be, and you're not going to be getting all the good benefits out of it, at least not nearly as many as you would with an organically grown apple. So I'm just letting you know, there's that stipulation. USDA says that. And in my opinion, I get it, legal stuff, whatever. But I'd rather not take the chance of eating poison. Just saying. So here it is. Foods that you should buy organic if you can. Because they have been shown to have more pesticides, more poison in them. Those foods are strawberries, spinach, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, pears, tomatoes, celery, potatoes. And this is just a handful of them, right? There's actually a thing called the dirty dozen, as they like to call them, of fruits and vegetables that you should buy organic because they have higher levels of pesticides in them than other fruits and vegetables. And the list that I said, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gave you 10 of those dirty dozen. So again, foods you should buy organic are strawberries, spinach, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, pears, tomatoes, celery, potatoes. If you can, buy those organic, because then you will be ingesting, and your kids will be ingesting, less poison, less pesticides, things that are not genetically altered. And now you know what it takes to be certified organic, right? To be grown on soil that hasn't had pesticides or any nasty stuff on it for over 3 years. Or if it's a meat or dairy product, right? Things that are allowed to be in their natural behavior and habitat, eating 100% organic food. Okay, well, now you know fruits and vegetables that you should buy organic because they have higher levels of pesticides. And I thought to myself, okay, this is great, but let's look at ones that have a lower percentage of pesticides. I mean, I still rather not be eating poison. I'll be perfectly honest, right? I'd rather not eat poison, being pesticides. But if you need to, if you really need to, here are ones that are slightly better to eat that and buy conventionally grown regular foods, right? Not non-organic, wow, I can't talk. Non-organic foods. And that's up to you, right? Obviously, I would prefer to eat all organic, but I know budgets are hard. I can't always do it. So these foods they have less pesticides. I don't know how to say it. They have less pesticides in them. And those are avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, broccoli, cauliflower, onions, asparagus, kiwis, cantaloupe, mangoes, things like that. All right, so avocados, so they have less pesticides in them. So if you really need to make the pick, you buy these conventional avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, broccoli, cauliflower, onions, asparagus, kiwis, cantaloupe, mangoes. Those foods have less pesticides in them compared to the other list. So again, this is all up to you. It's up to you whether you buy organic or not. But if you want to live your life to the max, you need to make sure you are fueling your body with the foods that are going to help you be at your best, to be at your peak performance all the time, right? So that you're giving your body the food, the nutrients, the vitamins that it needs and craves through natural foods. Supplements are nice, but if we can get it through natural foods, our bodies are going to use it that much more, and it's going to be better for us. But I get it. Organic foods are expensive. That's why I wanted to give you that list. Those list of foods to focus and buy organic if you need. And, let's think about it this way too. If you're slowly transitioning over, I'm a huge proponent of buying local, right? Supporting local farmers and supporting groups, organizations, companies, farms, people that focus on using natural resources, right? That they really use minimal use of toxic compounds, right? That they use very little or none of it at all. And that it's a sustainable farming, right? That it's sustainable, and support local if I can. So I really focus on those things, right? Is it sustainable? Are they using little to no toxic compounds in there? Preferably it's all organic if I can, right? Are they using natural resources? That's what I'm looking for most of the time. But especially when it comes to some of those dirty dozen foods, the foods that have a higher level of pesticides, I try to buy organic. And once again, those foods are strawberries, spinach, nectarines, apples, that's a huge one, grapes, peaches, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes. If you get any of those foods, try to get organic. Do yourself a favor, do your body a favor. I know this episode's different. It's different for us for the Jonesin 4 show, but I care about you. I care about you and your health, and I want you to get the most out of life. I want you to live your life to the max. How many more times can I say that in this episode, right? I want you to live your life to the max, and to do that, you need to be fueling yourself with the foods that are going to give you the nutrients, the vitamins, and everything you need to do just that. Get rid of the toxic crap in your foods. Eat healthy, eat organic most of the time or when you can, and live your life. Be happy, be healthy, and go after your goals and dreams. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Let me know your thoughts. As I said, this is a different episode. I would love to get your thoughts about it. Drop a comment below or message me on social media at Jonesin4. And you can find the show notes for this episode on our website at spencermjones.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing day. Eat organic when you can. Fuel yourself for success and keep living your life to the max. We'll catch y'all later.